That is after game 1. Alright, and we're away. So, what's King Bean's time here?
It is
a 3:07. Alright, and he's going right then left. Next, also opting right then left. Double left or double right are both actually faster, just a little less consistent on that little figure 8 section. Ooh, Nektarn barely not hitting that. And he did underheat in the fan room. That is a pretty significant time loss. So just in case anyone here is new to it, underheating is a period where you're neither boosting nor cooling down from a boost, and you're just sitting at 0 heat. You are wasting time where you could be at a faster speed. Now, that was a very clean tube section from both, and Nektarn just really not boosting nearly as much. A 103 versus a 106. Hard to tell that bit right? Yeah, 631. That is a big lead for King Bean. It's like if every lap is something like that, it's going to take 3 deaths. Which I frankly don't see happening.
kingbeandip is looking pretty flawless here.
Yeah, and this track is, by a wide margin, I think, the hardest at a surface level of the amateur circuit.
Definitely.
Like, to get peak times, I think there are potentially harder tracks out of it.
Oh, and that's a crash from Nektarn on
Ooh, yeah.
that one rock.
I like to call that one at least the soft lock rock.
Oh, because you get stuck in it.
Yes, there is a fix for it. Yeah, sorry, the bit rate for this game, or the tubes in this game do not like allowing you to have bit rate. kingbeandip with a 101.
Wow.
That is a hell of a lap.
And and a crash.
Yep.
King Bean.
He was on pace for a very good one. Everyone typically uses 60 FPS for Vengeance, just so you have better control in the tubes. You can make a case for 30. Makes a couple things outside of them easier. But Beandip was on track to contest the tournament record. That could have been 3:05 based with a good lap 3.
It'll probably take another crash from kingbeandip for Nektarn to have a chance here.
Yeah, another crash puts it close. Another crash puts it very close. Oh, why am I looking at the... I can just pop out in the chat, but... Ooh, that is the other death for King Bean. This could do it.
Wow.
That's still a bit of a lead, though.
No, I think
King Bean tends to boost more aggressively through here. Oh, that's so close.
Look at this. The sync is right, and Nektarn.
Nektarn does take it.
Wow.
All right.
It's a 317 versus 390. 2 seconds off of 2 deaths. And versus, I think
one for Nektarn.
Died once, yeah. Wow.
Sometimes playing safe works out.
Yeah.
Though at this level of play, I do think you have to take some pretty significant risks.
Definitely. They know.
Because you really can't count on your opponent to screw up.
Exactly. Like you said in the last match that you were commenting, you can't strategize over your opponent messing up.
No. Your strategy has to rely on outplaying.
So our global bans.
These are tracks that cannot be picked for the rest of the match. kingbeandip has banned Sunken City and Ando Prime Centrum. Nektarn has dropped Executioner and Bumpies on us. So these guys really don't seem to like Aqualaris.
Also, kingbeandip trying to ban Darth Maul for some reason.
He thinks we're playing Racer Revenge here.
Next, we'll be banning Watto.
Alright, we're banning Cy Younga, who
Cy
is an
Young.
alternate pod. We do accept that ban. He's an alternate skin for Bullseye.
So King Bean Dip's choices of banning Sunken City and Endoprime Centrum. I believe Nektarn has the record right now on Sunken City. It is a rare pick, but
The most banned track in the tournament, I believe, is Abyss, but I'm pulling that up right now to check. Yes, Abyss has been banned in 56% of matches.
so just going off the best times here, King Bean Dip has a better time than Nektarn in nearly all the races, except for the ones that Nektarn hasn't recorded, of which there are like 5.
Yeah.
But also there's 5 that he is better on, and most of them are in the invitational circuit, so we could be seeing a lot of those.
Yeah. Well, Rogue, the thing with Abyss is less the punishment for falling, and more that it's just not a well-made track. Also, King Bean has a 3-4-3 on Spice Mine Run. Alright.
Abyss conceptually is a great track, but the execution, because of this game and its glitches, it just didn't work out.
There are a lot of guardrails and walls that you can just drive straight through.
Exactly.
May or may not have happened to me in our match.
All right.
I does zip through a guardrail.
And we're off.
Yeah. Alright. So, King Bean, I do know for a fact, has been grinding this track. I don't know how far he's gotten on that grind, but he has put a lot of time into trying to optimize this boost pattern.
And it is a tricky boost pattern, like you've said.
Yeah.
When it gets to laps 2 and 3, it's...
Yeah, it's tough. But we're looking at neck and neck for this one. But I mean, a 3-4-3 on this track is pretty nuts. Oh, Nektarn finds that random death spot. This game has a lot of... This game has a lot of spots where driving over them in the wrong way can just kill you. So most of those involve just boosting over the wrong bit of terrain collision. And in this case, it's a poorly put together floor in that ramp. Now, this market section is one of the more deceptively important parts of the track, because it's very easy to underheat. You're in it for just long enough to run out of heat from a pretty high heat level. So you do have to enter at a pretty risky amount. You can execute a couple of maintenance boosts through it just to get your heat back up some, but it is risky. And it does show. Nektarn is behind by a little more than that death.
It looks like he's going to have to count on more deaths from King Bean Dip.
Yep.
In this match as well.
Nektarn also underheated coming off of the conveyor belt. Also, the score was not updated. There we go.
Looks like Nektarn's best here is at 352 with a crash, so...
Okay. But I know we know Nektarn is capable of going faster than that.
Definitely.
He's a skilled enough player that he could drop a 345 on us. Not on this run, because he already died once, but... He entered the market on pretty low heat again. King Bean with a sub 115 lap. Nektarn looking like it's going to be a 16. Yep. So, one interesting thing you'll see coming out of King Bean Dip in just a second is you don't actually boost along the straightaway he's about to enter. Typically we like boosting on long straights, but you'll see that it accelerates him on its own. You know, the conveyor belt you're hovering 4 feet above just speeds you up. And he does lose some time by tilting on this downslope. You don't accelerate as much. It's not a huge amount, but it is noticeable when you're really grinding this track. So that is a good heat level to enter this tube for King Bean. Yeah, that's a very good heat level. He won't underheat and get Nektarn entered wide on low heat, so he will lose a significant amount of time in the market. And that's going to be a 345? Yes, 345.5 for King Bean. Nektarn looking roughly at 355. Alright, since everyone's throwing a ton of different explanations at it, I'll give one blanket thing on heat. When you are boosting in this game, it is a flat addition to your speed. When you are boosting, though, you gain a metric called heat. If your heat goes too high, one of your engines catches fire. One of your engines, chosen randomly, catches fire. You don't want that, so you release heat before you overheat. However, when you're not boosting, you're cooling down. If you stay cooling down for too long, you hit zero heat, which is a state we call underheating. At that point, you're neither cooling down nor heating up, so you're simply wasting time where you could be at a higher speed. Typically on Ben, you lose 0.4 of 1 second for every second you are underheating.
So after that, after King Bean took that, Nektarn banned Ben, King Bean Dip banned Inferno, and then Nektarn chose Abyss for our next track. So definitely sticking to the invitational circuit where Nektarn seems to have his strengths.
Yeah. No, overheating is what the weather is here.
Yeah, we could all do with some underheating right now.
Yeah. At least in the northern hemisphere. Gale force in the Australian winter. Alright. But King Bean Dip going with Bull's Roar.
That's pretty ballsy. Nektarn got his best time with Bullseye, so...
Yeah. Bullseye is really risky here, though, because if you fall, he's so fragile. And King Bean plays on very low traction. So wall climb to make up for this fall is super difficult, and he's not making it. Yeah, that wall climb to get out of the pit, or to get out of that lower level, is traction reliant. So when you're on low traction, good luck getting out.
And
then he just crashes, yeah. He has not practiced this course.
No. Which is surprising since Nektarn had a clearly better time on this one.
Yeah, I would have just banned it if I was him. Yeah,
well, yeah.
Bowls can be a good pick here, if you're practiced on that pick here.
Oh, Nektarn falling down.
Oh, yep. However, if he doesn't die twice, it's still a time save, yeah. Oh, he made the climb. Nice. Yeah, Nektarn really does seem to have practiced this track.
Yeah, and he likes Bullseye on this too, which is a good pick. So King Bean Dip had banned Inferno, so he's taken out 3 out of the 5.
All right, he makes the first turn this time.
Oh, nice.
And he makes the second turn? Oh god, he was asking to oversteer. There we go, that's a much better lap.
Yeah.
Problem is, he's relying on Nektarn to fall.
Which, even when he did fall, he got right back up.
He made the Bullseye climb.
Yeah.
And again, with how fragile Bullseye's pod is, he is the lowest durability in the game. That climb is dangerous.
Yeah, Nektarn's looking really good off of a better lap from King Bean Dip, but still.
He
That
fell lap one.
first
It's dead. It's
fall
dead.
and death. So
Like, yeah, this track is done. I don't like saying that early, but if you fall lap one and your opponent doesn't fall at lap 3, or doesn't fall by lap 3, good luck.
but yeah, it seems like an easy win for Nektarn off of that one.
Yep.
After King Bean Dip left it open off of the bans. He couldn't ban all the tracks that Nektarn was clearly better off the invitational circuit, but this one early, it's a good one.
Ace, if we had played, I would have entirely been down. I like it. And 304. That was a very, very good Abyss run out of Nektarn, though.
Yeah, great time for Bullseye.
Yeah, 235. You can push that down a decent amount, but not without some pretty crazy strats. All right, let's see what the bans are looking like. This might actually be a little tricky for King Bean at this point, because he is on Nektarn's serve.
Exactly.
But all right, Bullseye has been banned, as has Grabvine Gate. Are we going to Fire Mountain, King Bean?
Okay,
No,
Beatos.
Why ban Bullseye there?
I don't know. Maybe out of spite for his for his win on Abyss.
Yeah. So we're gonna get a Ben Mirror
Beatos.
on Beatos.
Let's see how they've done in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like King Bean Dip just barely has it over Nektarn here. 5 seconds between their best times. 2:54 from
Yeah,
King Bean
neither
Dip.
of their best times is great. Both of their best times are over 10 seconds off the tourney record.
To be fair, they've only played this once, and both with at least one death. So
yeah, and still, it's a 254 and a 259. That is oh, Gale. Once he reveals it, it's going to be exciting.
Maybe it's Beatos.
Right, and here we go. So this track is really interesting. What?
Oh.
So Nektarn misses the shortcut, and King Bean dies getting the shortcut.
Yeah. I don't
That's
know what
an exciting start.
Yeah, so Nektarn ended up with the better case. So. Early lead.
Yeah.
But King Bean Dip could make it up with the better boosts.
Yeah, and King Bean's boost timing is better, just seemingly across the board.
Definitely.
Nektarn's is solid, but he did underheat a lot twice line. Oh, King Bean holding that line, and that's already close to a tie. We're only about a second and a half apart now. Sleepy Mario, this is PC. And yeah, King Bean, let's see, 58.31 and a 1:08.4. So that's about 2.5 seconds for Nektarn right now.
Yeah, it looks like King Bean Dip held that whole boost line into the shortcut.
King Bean is slowly making that gap back up. I really like that strat over the ice fields. It's just cool. But it looks like it's still about 2 seconds for Nektarn. He's holding that lead. Yeah, I think it's almost the same lead.
Looks like there is the second between the sinks. I'm not sure, but
Yeah. Alright, let's see. 55 and 54. Alright, so King Bean made up a second. He's gonna have to make up a little more
oh
on this
no!
track, and there it is.
Nektarn
He's made up a little
flubs
more
the
than
shortcut.
that. He's made up a little more than that. Oh, that's a heartbreaker for Nektarn. He could have taken this track.
Yeah.
He's still good. But it's gonna take something crazy it's gonna take a crazy level of screwing up from King Bean.
Yeah, even though kingbeandip died on the
Oh,
shortcut.
Nektarn dies on
Another
that
death.
random death. That spot is one where if you boost over it, you explode. Guaranteed. Basically the game has a lot of really janky ground construction. There's a lot of just overlapping polygons. King Bean plays crazier than I do.
He definitely doesn't hold back.
No, and I play like an absolute madman. I don't know what the hell you describe King Bean's approach as. So we're going to Grapevine Gateway now.
So Nektarn banned Ben, kingbeandip banned Inferno.
And Nektarn just drops a Grapevine on us. I love this track.
Kingbeandip did not see it coming. How have they done on Grapevine? Looks like kingbeandip with the record 430.7.
Yeah, and Nektarn only has a 450.
Yeah, so
I don't agree with this track pick. Yeah.
we can assume he's been practicing, maybe.
However, if King Bean keeps... Yeah, he has a 417 here. Whew. However,
Grapevine.
yeah.
Uh,
Not in tournament, that's his PB.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
So, the one interesting thing, though, is if King Bean just keeps up the playing like a man aspect, he might wind up regretting it here. Because he's been going hard for some aggressive lines.
It's crazy that the tournament record for Grapevine is with 3 deaths.
Yeah, this track is hard. This track is really hard.
Well, even deathless runs of Grapevine are nowhere close to 430. It's weird.
I know. This track has a very real case for hardest in the game.
I guess that just speaks to how well
There we go.
King
Bean
plays.
instantly dies.
I'll just eat my words. But still, you know, if he comes out on top with more deaths than Nektarn, that's just how this guy plays.
Yeah. He is one of our most aggressive drivers. And it's really fun to see when he's on point, and really funny to see when he's not. Yeah, this track gives a lot of casual players trouble when they're doing their playthroughs. Alright, let's see what line they both opt for in the swamp. I'm expecting King Bean to go insane.
I know he's been dissecting this area a lot.
Yeah, let's see what they do. He also made up a lot of time, just off of, even with that death.
Oh,
ooh,
looks like a
he
few.
scrapes, yeah.
Yeah.
They're still dead even.
Oh yeah, it's all cut up.
Yeah, like we said, he plays like an absolute madman, and when he's on point, it is one of the coolest things you'll see in this tournament. Because nobody actually goes that aggressive,
Whoa.
and he is already slightly ahead now.
5.01 was that?
It was a tied first lap. It was a tied first lap, but he held the boost longer coming out of it. So he is slightly ahead now.
Even if he gets 2 more deaths and Nektarn's flawless, he still wins.
Yeah. And Nektarn.
Oh,
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
Kind of has trouble on that
So
open shortcut.
everyone points to the swamps for being difficult. For my money, these canyons and that shortcut are harder. Like, the swamp's not easy, but the rest of this is so crazy on certain points. The swamp's just memorization. The rest of these are circular timing.
I actually dislike the area before the swamps.
This one?
Yeah.
Like that little jungle Nektarn was in?
Exactly. Just because of all the visuals are tough to. Oh, another.
Oh, yeah.
Or Nektarn's first death, actually.
I'd like to point out that King Bean for almost a third of the swamp stayed going fast enough to be able to charge a boost. He was over 450 for a lot of that swamp.
Wow. 125.
Jesus. Why would you take King Bean here?
Yeah, poor choice. We could definitely be seeing a new record from King Bean.
Yeah. The risk was calculated, but boy was he bad at math. There we go. Nice shortcut from King Bean. Yeah, it's just King Bean has no concept of what a safe line is. Oh, Nektarn dying on the shortcut, or dying right before the shortcut.
Yeah. Oh. Still having trouble on that shortcut.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's very hard to get right. But do you see how fast King Bean is taking all of this? He didn't go below 370.
Wow. He probably averaged around, high 400s.
That... that was so good. King Bean, the only human who can do it.
And there it is, a new record.
Yeah, 425.4.
Record. Nektarn admits
he's not the only human who can do it.
His mistake.
Just a dumb movie reference. Yes, Nektarn died twice.
Nektarn bans Anakin, the only human who can do it.
King Bean breaks serve. He's up 3-2.
And he bans Inferno again.
He really doesn't like Inferno. I don't think he's practiced it, really.
I actually think King Bean might have a stronger time on Inferno.
He does, by a lot. He just doesn't like it. We're going to the Gauntlet, which Nektarn does have a stronger time on. By a little over a second. No, Nektarn is faster on Gauntlet.
Just barely.
He has a 507. I don't know if King Bean's really... Or King Bean was practicing it, but... No, he's not... Yeah. And if he gets that 507 and King Bean keeps going as crazy aggressive as he has been, I think it's one of his better options.
Counting on that tunnel and all the other random places you can die on this map.
Yeah, this map's... I'd actually call it one of the... I'd probably call it a little harder than average, but it's really not that difficult for most of it. Yeah, Gale, but it's also not that hard to die here. Gale, it's King Bean. He's going to do lap 3 strats. Alright, but we are away. And King Bean holds the long. Nektarn not holding the long.
Yeah, already a slight lead off of King Bean Dip.
Which is not surprising. And Nektarn does get the double boost.
Both saving their heating for this long section.
Yeah, it's a long off-road section. Now, quick aside, I believe that long off-road stretch cut is actually slower if you're using a lower pod. Like you're doing this track with Bullseye or something. Nektarn and King Bean both holding that boost. This is a dead heat.
Yeah.
Now, do they do bull jump? Do they do bull jump? Now, King Bean's lining it up.
Oh, he's doing it. Nektarn not.
Oh, King Bean did go super wide on that, so he didn't save as much time as he.
But he did gain a little bit.
Yep.
Time.
Alright, and
He keeps that line.
Yep, Nektarn holds the boost as well. Both of these guys are playing fantastically.
And now it's this tunnel section that has claimed many lives.
Yes,
Oh,
and they both
clean.
make it through. I mean, this is the death row wing of the Ulu 4 prison. Alright, it's about a second lead for King Bean. It's simple, they sentence them to death by pod racing.
What kind of viewing experience do the prisoners have? Because they're just watching it out of a small window, right?
Yeah, if that. We don't know prison regulations in the Star Wars universe.
Uh-oh.
We don't know if there are prison regulations in the Star Wars universe. This is the Outer Rim. Alright. But King Bean again taking a slight lead out of here. He's now up a couple seconds. It's pretty significant. Let's see, does he manage to hold his boost again? He does. So does Nektarn. That's a really cool strat.
Looks like still just one death between them.
Yeah, but if King Bean manages to take this, take lap 3, take this lap as cleanly as he did lap 1.
He keeps gaining time.
Yeah. It's one of those things, when they're both racing cleanly, King Bean is a little faster, and Nektarn with the death. That might be enough to seal this one for King Bean.
Oh! A death off of King Bean.
That does make up for it. So one more death from King Bean if they both keep this up. Oh,
Nektarn.
nope, Nektarn dies as well.
Keeping it even.
Oh, he's way behind now. That's a 52. He's 10 seconds back. So it would take like 2 deaths and a bit of a mistake on top of it for King Bean to lose this one now.
Maybe he'll get lost in the bowl section, and he'll do two circles and.
Yeah. That was a pretty nice segment for King Bean. Or not for King Bean, well, for King Bean, but for Nektarn, so I meant to say. Going through here, coming into the canyons. For Nektarn coming out of him for King Bean. He holds that boost again. How's his hairpin? It's good. Holding that boost through that small cave that Nektarn just did is actually way easier than it looked. It's kind of cool. King Bean taking the bowl jump again. Yeah, it looks like he's probably got it from here. There's only 2 more spots where he really can die. And I don't see him dying on the first one, which is right here. He makes it. So unless he has a 2-death tube somehow.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna happen.
Nope. And that's going to do it for King Bean. He now takes it up to 4-2.
And one last death.
But hey, we're on match point. Now, I know King Bean likes pitching gentleman agreement stuff for his final race. I don't know if they did it. Oh, Nektarn's banning Elon Mac. It's my favorite pod.
King Bean Dip banning Inferno.
Not totally sure why, looking at times.
Oh.
No. Wait. What even is AMC?
I don't know. Amateur circuit.
Oh, Adobe Mountain Run.
Adobe Mountain Run.
Yeah, AMC is not a track. He combined Adobe Mountain Run and Ando Prime.
Yeah.
Adobe Mountain Centrum.
Both of which Nektarn has a better time.
Yeah. I believe Elon Mac showed up in episode 1.
Yes. He's in the bonus scenes.
Did you know Elon Mac is actually a pseudonym?
What's his real name?
Literally that backwards.
Cam
Nale. Cam Nale.
Why? Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
And they're off.
Alright. So this track is fun. There's nothing too crazy about it. It has a couple of hard segments, but nothing insane. King Bean using the relatively new line.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Dwy Guy used it, but he used it on Bullseye, where it's a little slower. But King Bean, again with a slight lead. Nektarn boosted a little better in here.
King Bean is just crazy.
He's a maniac. Wait, Rogue, you're telling me Mars Guo survived that crash? He rolled at several hundred kilometers an hour.
So did Team Toe, apparently.
Well, Team Toe's pod makes a little more sense. He can roll at number ends.
The disc.
Mac rolled on a side. Or not Mac, Mars rolled on his side. Alright, let's see how this canyon goes. It's looking a little better for Nektarn than King Bean, but it's comparable. Oh, as soon as I say that, Nektarn hits a wall.
Yeah. King Bean held his speed through that section.
122, clean tent.
Oh.
Not so clean tent.
Clean your tent.
Always wash your tent before you go camping.
Vacuum it, shake it off.
Now that's gonna be stuck in my head, thanks. Yes, Rats Terrell was the one. Asder, stop it! Alright, but yeah, that was another really aggressive front half from King Bean.
Yeah.
But hey, he's making it work. This also... a bend ban here would have been an interesting thing for Nektarn. King Bean would have just gone who he can handle very well this track. Yeah, although as difficult as Bowles is, we have seen instances of him being used here. Oh, Nektarn almost completely slowing down.
Yeah, not the best section for him.
Yeah, Rogue. There was a crate dragon who lived in those caves. Alright, but King Bean has a very solid lead now. He's in the hairpins before Nektarn's really out of the tent.
What made them decide to hide a shortcut behind that tent? Like,
my question is less that and more, what did they make that tent out of that destroys a pod racer?
It's a sturdy tent. It's one of the best quality. Like, does
what
some
did they
guy,
make it out of?
after lap 1, does some guy just open it real quick?
Yeah, they just have a dude who opens it after the race starts. Anyway, King Bean is on, I believe, tourney record pace.
Oh.
Oh.
Thanks for saying that. And it's looking like
this game is the worst example of commentator's curse I've ever encountered. Every match, there's at least a couple instances. That was still 358. That's very good. And Nektarn with the 408.
Wow. Well, that does it for King Bean.
Yep.
Moving on to the losers semis. Yeah.
To take on the winner of you and Gale Force, right?
We all know who's gonna win.
I've got to be neutral.
By that I mean the audience is gonna win.
There we go.
And Nektarn can't join us with no mic.
We can, however, we can get King Bean in here. We can also transcribe some of, or he can type his answers to us, and we will read them out. All right, and we have Nektarn in here.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congrats
on making it this far, though, Nektarn. You ran into one of our real bracket monsters here. At this point in the tournament, there really isn't anything out. There really aren't anyone left who isn't. And hello, King Bean. Congrats on the win.
Thanks.
Oh, right, headset.
That was an interesting match.
Yeah, you're an absolute madman. Do you know what a safe line is?
Yes. I've just forgotten all of them.
I think.
All right.
I mean, that's the nature of a true pod racer. Is you can't care about safety.
Absolutely not.
And meanwhile, Nektarn saying it was a pretty rough one to come into. He felt like he had to play a lot more aggressive than he's comfortable doing. Which, to make up for how King Bean plays, I've gotta agree with.
I was having a really hard time racing clean on that match.
That Abyss was
I got a good lap 2 in.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Just
and I had
Bulls on
the rare
Abyss.
problem of falling into the inside of that turn.
Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, Bowles is pretty prone to understeering if you slide aggressively.
He just can't climb. It's a
no. Especially since you play on R20.
No, I switched R100 for Bulls.
That's still basically R20 Ben.
Yes, it is. That's exactly what it is and why I do it.
No, R20 Bulls can be hilarious to play.
Also, congrats on the new Grabvine record.
Yeah, that was a tournament record by 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you still had...
Oh, that's pretty good. I still had a death.
Yeah,
and,
you still had one death.
Huh.
So you know what's next. You gotta get a deathless Grabvine.
Well...
I do have a deathless Grabvine.
You've got to get one in tournament.
Oh, I did.
With the more aggressive strats.
No, I got a deathless versus the Lacelar with a Neva key.
Okay.
Okay.
But that was quite a while ago.
And since then, you've practiced it a lot.
Yeah, that one really calmed me down, which is
Mhm.
not what
That's
it does for most people.
Yeah, no. You don't typically expect arguably the hardest track in the game to calm someone down.
Nope.
So I'm
Also,
not
I've
sure.
gotta
Oh,
ask, why the Chain Inferno bands? Your time there is really...
That track is pretty risky. There's so many death spots on it.
Yeah. Thing is,
Um,
Nektarn's tournament PB was a 303.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if he was strong there or not.
Yeah.
I really couldn't decide on my temporary ban.
Yeah, I mean, Inferno's typically a fine one to go with. It's not consistent.
Yeah, I was really surprised when Nektarn chose Grabvine and Gauntlet. I was
yeah,
like, really? Those are like two of my best tracks.
exactly.
Nektarn can correct me if I'm wrong, but Gauntlet's also a very strong one for him.
Yeah, I know he has a really good Gauntlet time. I was considering playing Gauntlet against him, but he banned it. No, he banned Grabvine.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I didn't pick Gauntlet because he does have a pretty good time there.
Mm-hmm. Also, you just missed out on tourney record. That last death was missing out on tourney record on Grab. Because Gale has
which?
on Andobi, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because, I mean, Gale has a high 352,
Oh, shoot.
and you had a relatively low heat death in the canyon.
Uh-huh.
So that could have been contesting that.
Yeah.
It was, however, I believe, a tournament PB for you there? By
Probably.
12 seconds?
That sounds about right.
But yes, very well driven to both guys, and it was a fun match to see.
That's good. Thanks.
But we should probably wrap it there. Oh, and Nektarn is typing something to us.
Yeah,
GG.
GG.
Yeah, GG's all around. Both of you played it very well. We should probably be wrapping it there. Hey, Nektarn, thank you for playing in it. This tournament has been phenomenal for growth for the community. We've gotten, I think, 4 or 5 new IL runners out of it.
Oh yeah, and it's pulling everybody off of no upgrades.
Yeah, I mean,
which
I'm still
everybody
doing
is
no
comfortable with.
but I'm still doing no upgrades, but I'm doing this too.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you to everyone for coming out. This one was a joy to work on. We will be seeing you as soon as Gale and Lightning can schedule their match. Just
Good luck, Lightning.
Thanks. That'll be fun.
so we will be announcing that as soon as it is scheduled. In the meantime, thank you to Lightning for joining me on comms. Thank you to King Bean and Nektarn for racing. Thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting, and thanks to all of you lovely viewers for being here. We will see you all next time.